Welcome to Weekly Trading Psychology Live series by Funding Pips, everyone. I am Paulina and I am your trading psychology coach. Please subscribe, like, and comment to improve your trading performance and to stay on track and up to date with all of the topics that we talk about here. And today's topic is a special one again, because today I wanted to combine both things, passing challenges as well as one of the main reasons why people and traders don't pass the challenges, which is due to the feeling of greed and fear. So in all honesty, traders don't lose challenges because of technical setups. They lose because of unregulated emotions and fear. And I want to break it down today. And before I do, I want to break it down to you. Okay, so I want to welcome again everyone. Hello. I can see a lot of comments on YouTube. Welcome everyone. It's amazing to have you here. But I want to focus on breaking down the emotions that hijack your trading performance, because science will show us how to manage them actually, okay? Because it's not about suppressing the fear or the greed. It's about training your brain so it doesn't wreck your challenge. And you can't really positive think your way out of biology, but what you can build is a system that will help you stay grounded and focused and responsive instead of reactive, because that reaction on the charts when it comes to greed and fear is what is going to affect your edge. Now, the lack of reactivity and the responsibility for your responses is the real edge in a market. And today we are going to do it together, because let's be real, about 95% of traders will tell you that psychology is their main problem. But almost none of those traders do anything to train their psychology. Why? Because trading psychology is becoming more popular, but it's not glamorous. It's not flashy. It's not some kind of strategy or indicator that is going to give you 1 to 10 in a market, or is going to tell you when to exactly enter the market. Trading psychology is about facing yourself, and facing yourself can be really uncomfortable. But let me tell you something. Every master account holder and professional trader, for that matter, understands one thing, that you don't fail because you don't know what to do. You fail because you can't get yourself to do it consistently under pressure. You all know what you need to do already, but you are not doing it. And let me tell you another thing. Emotions that you specifically are experiencing are not random. They are biological. They are inherited and they are encoded within your nervous system. And let me back up. Biologically, your response to perceiving risk is hardwired into your brain and your nervous system, and that goes as far back as evolution. Fear isn't a mindset issue. Greed is not a flow. They are survival responses. Greed and fear in the market are survival responses. So you're not really trading a chart when you're experiencing fear and greed. You trade in your nervous system. And when you trade your nervous system, this is what happens. The fear is the brain's way of protecting you from uncertainty. And let me tell you one thing about your beautiful brains. Your brain's number one job is to keep you safe, not happy. So this is the reason why us as people, we are wired to always pay attention to negativity, to always pay attention to more negative emotions, more negative comments from other people. Because 50 people may tell you, you're an amazing trader. One person may tell you, an average trader. And you will pay attention to that one negative comment. Why? wired that way. Your brain is designed to look out for threats, because looking out for threats, going back to survival, is going to help you survive and thrive. So you will be able to actually spot what it is that you need to deal with. So the fear that you're experiencing in your brain is protecting you from that uncertainty. And it's not the market that you are scared of, it's what you've made it to mean to you. Okay? Because all of us traders, we put meaning behind a trade, a single account, and what it can do for us. And that stop loss that you are experiencing isn't just any random risk to you. It means that you failed again, and that you are not getting closer to your goal, and that your future is going to be affected. And of course, what's that going to trigger? Panic button. And the panic button likely is going to go between fear and greed. And greed, on the other hand, is your reward system. So you either will be fearful and your nervous system will be in a panic mode, or you will be feeling the greed, which is your reward system. And the reward system is going to override your logical decision making. I tell you why, because of the release of dopamine. And release of dopamine, and what dopamine is the pleasure hormone in your brain. And that dopamine suddenly makes you feel amazing. After the profit, you feel great. You have a win streak, you feel great. You passed the first stage of the challenge, you feel amazing. And that's no longer a strategy. That's you chasing the chemical. That's you chasing the feeling. If you are trying to feel something in the markets, you are chasing the feeling, not the system. And this is precisely how you will lose control. If you will try for the market to make you feel good, or if you're going to blame the market for making you feel bad. And let me tell you another thing, though. That's not because you are weak. That's not because you are not cut for it. It's because no one taught you yet how to regulate your internal world, your internal system. Everybody tells you, in order for you to have impact on the external world, you have to take control of your internal world. But a very few people will tell you how to do it. But I'm going to change that for you today, and we will talk about how to do it. But before we talk about how to do it, we need to understand what actually happens. Because what happens in your brain when you experience those emotions of fear and greed is something that is important to understand, because when you understand what is actually happening, you then are able to implement the change. And also when you understand what is happening, this is where you can detach from it, step away and think, okay, it's my brain's chemical reaction at the moment. That's why I'm not thinking logically. This is why I need to do X, Y, and Z in order to step away, cool down, and then think about my trading setup again. So when traders say, I knew what to do, but I didn't do it anyway, that's exactly why. Because it is your brain under stress, and when your brain is under stress, it will behave differently. And this is one of the most famous concepts actually in behavioral economics, where the psychological impact of losing $100 feels roughly as twice as powerful as gaining $100. And we talked about it before. It's loss aversion. And in trading terms, what does that mean to you? It means to you that you can be up by 3R on a trade and still feel uneasy. It's still not enough. And what that could also mean is that you could have a winner, but you're going to cut it short because your brain is scanning for the loss and it's scanning for potential pullbacks. Or you will skip the potentially good setup because what if it fails? What if I actually get a loss? And that can create that premature exit for you, analysis paralysis, or overreaction in drawdowns, because then the overreaction in drawdowns leads to breaching the account or actually completely losing it, or trading out of fear or greed rather than trading out of your system. So what actually is happening is your brain trying to protect itself. And in high pressure environment, in high pressure context, like the markets, like taking losses, like being in drawdown, like taking a Funding Pips challenge account to want to get the master account and rewards, this pressure gets amplified. And when that pressure gets amplified, your amygdala, which is an ancient brain structure responsible for detecting threats, in high stakes environments like trading, it will become hyperactive. So actually there will be a lot of activity in that part of the brain. And when there is a lot of other activity in amygdala, you can look it up, this is where your logic will be suppressed. And this is why you cannot engage in actually trading your system. So this is where actually one of big names called the amygdala hijack, because this is where also your prefrontal cortex, I don't want to go into neuroscience, but that is going to also have impact, because that is going to get suppressed, and that is responsible for your logic long-term. And when you start planning long-term, you can have a great plan long-term on paper when you're preparing to purchase your first challenge or another challenge. But when you're actually in the market, all of that logic goes out the window, it goes offline, and you no longer follow it. So your decisions become reactive rather than reflective. And this is the reason why in the middle of a trade, you may add impulsively to your positions and exit the trade randomly, or revenge trade, which of course, it's not very rational. We know that it's not very rational. But afterwards, you kind of left wondering, why did I do that? You know? And you start blaming yourself and go through scenarios, only if I could take the time back, etc. But the answer is your emotional brain was running the show at the time. And that is something that a lot of traders don't think about. But I want to go deeper today into that topic, because I want to now talk also about a study on biofeedback that was actually measured during real time on professional traders. And what they have done, so biofeedback is when you actually take the biological feedback, so through your responses of your sweat, your heart rate, your breathing rate, etc. And when they measure the heart rate, skin, and the emotional arousal during trading, what was the key finding? That emotional stress shows in the body. Your emotional stress from trading shows in the body, in increased body temperature, in sweating, in increased heart rate, in increased breathing rate. And it may not be obvious sometimes, but what it showed in that study, that the body showed the response first before the decision making. So there was body reaction, meaning nervous system reaction, then the decision. So even experienced traders, because that study was done on experienced professional traders, so even experienced traders have elevated physiological responses in high-risk trades, okay? And why do I talk about it? Why does it matter? Because this is a survival mode. You can't think yourself or be kind of rely on luck yourself. So you can't outthink yourself out of the survival mode, okay? You can't. It's your survival mode. It's your body's way of keeping you alive. So you can't outthink yourself out of survival mode or think you're going to get lucky, because what does that look like for you? Racing heart rate when you open a position, shallow breathing, sweaty palms, overthinking, major setup, feeling a bit sweaty, thinking, oh my God, what is happening? And all that tension that you carry in your body has a major impact. This is also one of the reasons why breathing techniques are so highly applicable. Do you know that box breathing technique is used by Navy SEALs? It's on 4 you breathe in, 4 you hold, on 4 you breathe out, on 4 you hold, and then you repeat the process, because that regulates your nervous system, and your nervous system will have an impact on the way that you are feeling, on the way that you're making decisions and conducting yourself in the markets. So all your body And your nervous system gives you signals that is activating something in you emotionally that then drives your decision making in the market. So if you don't regulate your body and you don't look after your body, not to feel too stressed, not to feel too anxious, this is where you may actually need to rethink that, because you may have the best trading plan in the world, but if your body is flooded with either adrenaline or cortisol, or your mind can't follow and focus, then you are not going to achieve what you're meant to achieve. Think about feeling anxious, or when your nervous system is activated. So you don't feel the full anxiety, but your nervous system is activated. So think about it this way. Think of it as if that fear equals fog. A fog, when you, what does it do? You can see everything around you, but when it's foggy, all of a sudden you can only see a few meters ahead of yourself. That narrows your vision, it tightens your grip, and you then only see, let's say, that 1 minute time frame only, and you are only focused on that, and you don't see the bigger picture and what you are doing. This is why you click buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell on every candle movement. And this is why most traders fail challenges, not because they don't know enough, not at all, but because they don't feel safe enough to act on what they know. And I'm going to repeat this again, because this is the quote of this session. Most traders fail challenges not because they don't know enough, but because they don't feel safe enough to act on what they know. Do you understand? Because that is so incredibly important for you to understand about yourself and your own body, and to build that self-awareness when it comes to you on the chart in the markets. So greed. Let's talk about greed and how greed gets triggered and what does that actually mean. So if fear causes you to freeze and greed is causing you to chase the market, then it's not just all about wanting more money and rewards and profits. It's about how your brain processes the reward and how quickly it overrides logic when dopamine kicks in. So it's actually understanding how quickly do you get overwhelmed in the markets, because you may get overwhelmed with fear, with greed, with different emotions, but also you need to understand at what speed. How quickly will you get influence? Will you get influence immediately as you see the stop loss, and then immediately you go with greed and you add another position, another position, another position? Or is it after several? Or is it immediate? Because that is going to tell you how you should regulate yourself. How soon should you leave your charts? What should you do in order for those emotions not to escalate? Not to escalate in terms of feelings, but not to escalate on the charts, so you don't actually repeatedly make the same mistakes. But let's break down, I would say, the 3 core greed mechanisms that will sabotage you as traders, especially when you are in challenges or when you have your master accounts as well. So one of the very first ones is the overconfidence. And this is when, you know, you're on your winning streak and then you feel confident and then you think you've cracked the markets and now, you know, the world is yours. And that's what triggers you into doing things that you shouldn't be doing, because research actually finds that after a series of wins, traders tend to overestimate their skill and underestimate their risk, which is absolutely true, because your mind then creates this false sense of control that you figured out the market, like I said, and then you start seeing your trading edge as bulletproof. You start seeing yourself as bulletproof, and what do you start doing? You start overtrading, and you start increasing your position size, because of course you're going to be right. And this is where you're going to start breaking your rules that you swore you will never break again when you were in drawdown last time or when you lost your previous challenge. And you start entering all of those setups that don't even match your trading plan, and you feel lucky, you feel you've got this, you feel like you're riding the wave. But this is why overconfidence is one of the most leading psychological traps in retail trading. Because you may get away with it once, you may get away with it twice, you may pass first phase of your Funding Pips challenge like that. But the market is going to catch you. You're not going to get away with it for long enough. Because what it feels like confidence, it's not confidence. It's a dopamine-fueled illusion of control. And in the markets, you never have control. You don't have control. The only control that you have in the markets is the control over yourself and what you execute and how you execute and whether you are going to stick to your risk management. There is zero control that you will have over the markets. So the second one that I would say, because I said there are three components of greed. And I would say the second one is what I already mentioned, the reward system, brain reward system. So when you win a trade, especially in high pressure trade, your brain gets flooded with dopamine. So let's say you actually won a trade that you over leveraged. Let's say you were in -4% drawdown. And let's say you over leverage and you put 2%, and usually your plan says put 0.5% risk, and you put 2%, and you won that trade. And that gives you that false sense that actually breaking rules is okay. And that reward in your brain that gets activated is the same as gambling, as drug use, as social media likes, is the same kind of circles, neural circles in your brain that gets activated. And that creates that pleasure loop. And that is the reason why you keep on repeating those mistakes and your brain wants more pleasure. So it's like having one piece of chocolate and then wanting another, because you just experienced that pleasure of eating chocolate. So you want another. And that's how mindlessly people eat a whole block of chocolate and they're like, oh my God, what did I do? And that's precisely what traders do on the charts. 1, 2, 3, 4, because they want that one lucky trade, and then boom, 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 account is gone. And it's not about more profit even that you are looking for. Because let's face it, you might be then out of the blue in +6% from -4%, you're out of the blue in +6% profit for the day. Only 2% more to pass the first phase of the two-step challenge. And you're not looking for profit because realistically, you should be satisfied. You just came out of the drawdown and you've got 6% profit on top of that. That is 10% profit in a day, but you're not. You want more. And you're no longer chasing profit, you're chasing dopamine. You are hooked on the dopamine. And this is why you don't want to stop trading when you are up so many percentages. That's why you jump into another setup without planning. This is why you start having FOMO. This is why you start increasing your risk because you feel on a streak. But that's just pure danger, because again, what does that do? The pleasure activates happiness, happiness activates emotion, and the emotion suppresses logic. And therefore, you don't think long-term anymore. You start thinking short-term, and that's when the irrational decision-making comes into play. This is why you experience things that you do, and those are the normal things to experience. It's your survival system. But what we're trying to do here is to educate you, to understand yourself so you can do something about it and stop spiraling into these impulsive behaviors in the market. Because you get chemically high in your brain, whether that is positive emotion or negative emotion. And this is the reason why you need a reset protocol. This is why you need to understand enough what you need to do and how you need to do it. And I can't tell you what to do. I can give you education. I can give you tools. We can talk about those topics, but it is up to you to understand yourself enough to actually decide, do you know what? This is what I need to do. And this is how I need to do it. Because I respond so quickly to losses. I respond so quickly to this or the other, la 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 la. And that what makes you an outstanding trader. And there is a third effect, which is a disposition effect, okay? And this is one of the most also psychologically damaging patterns, because that's where you will hold onto your losers, and this is how you are going to exit early your winners. And how many times have you moved your stop loss just not to get a stop loss? And how many times you were slightly in profit and you closed too early? Why? Because the greed is whispering into your ear, saying, take the win before it disappears. Don't give it back to the market. We had a tough losing streak. Just take something. And the fear says, maybe that loser will come back. Maybe that drawdown is going to come back into my break even. I'm not ready to take another loss. Wait, it just needs to come back lower into this level, or maybe this level, and it's going to be okay. And all of those decisions that are breaking your plan are emotionally driven decisions. It's literally fueled by emotion. And this is where you need to start learning how not to react on the chart and hope that your trade is going to work out. This is where you need to stop regretting your past, but you will never stop regretting your previous mistakes if you will not learn from it and apply a change now. Because if you keep on doing the same mistakes from the past that you said you would never do, this is why you are feeling the regret from the past. You're not letting go of it. You're not forgiving yourself. And that is why you are stuck in that loop, because you are not allowing yourself to move on. And this behavior is not logical. It's emotional. And it's time to recognize that. But it's also time to recognize that this emotion is wired in you. It's your survival system. It's your survivor mode. And that's normal. But it's going to take time to work on that. Because if this is something that you have been wired to do for majority of your life, it's going to take a long period of time to unwire yourself. And that is the reason why one session from here is not going to fix it. 5 sessions is not going to fix it. Your action is going to fix it. Because only watching things, reading about things is not doing things. But reading things, learning things, listening to beneficial things, and then following it up with action is actually what is going to create a change in your brain. Because your brain is going to rewire itself and learn again how to understand certain things. So what does greed look like? Tell me, guys. I actually want to know. I'm going to speak as well, but greed looks like what? Let's recap. Clicking too fast. Greed, another trade, another trade, another trade. Breaking your plan. And keep on trading even if you are in heavy profit. Just one more trade. Let me put 2% on instead of my standard risk. Forgetting about the long-term goal and just like more, even though you already have great profits. Do you ever get like that? Because if you do, and if you recognize that, that's self-awareness. And once you build that self-awareness and think, that's exactly what I do, this is where you can actually start implementing the change and start interrupting the pattern before the dopamine jumps in and takes over. And what is the problem here then? If something is wired, it makes it an emotional autopilot. So what you don't realize is, as a trader, that you stop trading your system actually. And what you do is you start trading your mood. And when you are down on your account, you think, I need to make it back. When you're up on your account, let me double down. And this is when you risk more. This is when you risk less. This is when you do this. It's all based on your decision. That's why you, as a trader, experience the roller coaster in the charts. Not because of your system. It's because how you manage your system. Because your system at the moment is not managed with precision and logic. It's managed by emotion and your emotional autopilot, which is wired by your nervous system. So your nervous system is making your trades, not your plan. And now we're going to talk how to take your power back, how to feel powerful on the charts and take control on managing your greed and fear. And I will tell you one thing, and I will not repeat it in this session. But if you actually listen to those solutions and implement them, I guarantee you, you will see results. But it's not about implementing it for one day and seeing the results. It's about implementing it for at least 14 days and then seeing the results. Being strong enough during those 14 days when you feel like doing the opposite, not doing it. And after those 14 days, you would be in a different position when you are right now as a trader. I guarantee with full confidence, because I've seen it with my eyes, with so many traders. And I'm not going to give you mindset quotes. I will give you evidence-based regulation strategies that are simple, repeatable, and designed for traders like you, and to put that into the market. Number one, I've repeated that before and I will repeat it again. Pre-trade emotional checklist. Before you trade, you should ask yourself loud and clear, am I trading my edge or am I trading my emotions and feelings? Am I okay? You should score yourself from 1 to 10. If anytime your emotions are at number 6, you're not trading that session, you're not taking that trade until you feel like your emotions are under number 5. That is literally building metacognitive awareness in your brain, and it's showing you that you are aware of yourself, of what you experience in your emotions, and you automatically, with that awareness, starting to regulate yourself and reduce reactivity to the markets, because you're actually taking the time to understand how you are feeling. And if you understand how you are feeling, you stop being as reactive. That helps you to interrupt that emotional momentum that is pushing you to do something. Like, come on, traders, I know what it feels like when you get into that trance and you just, whoa, execute. It doesn't make any sense. So this is why pausing and thinking is actually more powerful, and being self-aware and scoring yourself more powerful than you think. And that is building something. It's a neuroscientific term. It's called prefrontal override, when you actually bring back your rational brain and switch it back on, because you think, okay, where am I emotionally before this trading session? Or I just took a loss. I'm not going to look at the markets. Where am I? I'm at number 7. Why? Frustrated. So frustrated. The price was around my entry and then it went to my stop loss and went my direction. Whew, I'm so frustrated with the markets right now. Okay, I'm taking myself away. Am I ready to take another trade? In my plan, I can, but emotionally, can I? No. Okay, I take myself for a walk away, an hour break, I come back. Where am I now? Okay, I feel about number 4. Okay, I'm aware. Let's reanalyze the market. Where are the markets now after 1 hour? Okay, let me see. Okay, I can see a good entry here. Can we do this? Okay, let's go. That's it. And this is what you should be doing. You should not be revenge trading and think, I took a loss, oh my God, another one. That's not you. That's your emotion and your nervous system. If you actually do it for 14 days, I guarantee you would come back here and tell me, Paulina, I've got a master account. I guarantee you. But if you're not going to do it, it's not going to happen. Put the knowledge into action. Number 2, emotional risk cap. Everyone's talking about, okay, how much do you risk? 0.5%, 1% on your challenge, etc. But what about your emotions? You should cap and put risk management on your emotions too. So, for example, I would say if there is more than 3 spikes of emotion during your trading day, get away from the chart. If you are going to panic more than 3 times, get frustrated more than 3 times in a day, or you're gonna obsessively check your trade and zoom in, zoom out, where's my trade, etc., you're out. For that day, you're out. It's a red card off the pitch. That's what it is. More than 3 times, you get triggered by the markets, or you're like, oh, what's my trade doing? What's happening? Or should I put... No, you are done. You are not in a state to actually trade. Because what you should start doing is treat your emotions like a capital. Emotional capacity, emotional capital. Because if you are going to not have appropriate emotional capacity, you will over leverage your account. So that's why you need to think about your mind as the capital and stop over leveraging yourself in your mind before you do it in the markets. So again, this is where you need to start tactically minimize the impact that you are experiencing. So let's say you're experiencing fear in the markets. Fear, you're scared to enter. You feel that nervous system kicking in. You're scared, you don't know what to do. Okay, so maybe when you feel uncomfortable with trading a setup, there are 2 things. Either that's not your setup, it's not in line with your trading plan. But if it's in line with your trading plan, lower your risk. You are probably over-risking. Maybe you are trading only 0.5% anyway. Trade less. Trade 0.3, who cares? Honestly, if you are going to trade successfully 0.3, in 2 weeks, you would get to that 8% to pass the challenge. You would, because your trading processes and thinking and entering the trades are going to be way more sustainable than over leveraging and hoping and being scared and then actually not entering and then not entering, then being frustrated and then entering a setup that is not yours. It will reduce the pressure on the outcome. You really know that you are trading the right amount in the market when you don't care for it. Honestly, when I trade the right amount, I forget sometimes I'm in a trade, especially when I enter on 15 minutes time frame with a bit bigger stop loss size, and then I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And I just set my alarms, and sometimes I get so busy, I forget. And this is how you would actually regulate your nervous system, because you stop operating out of fear and you start operating out of logic. Then again, your first trade of the day, either there are 2 options for your first trade of the day. Either pay super good attention to it and wait for that golden setup, or treat your first day as a warm-up in the market and lower the risk as well. Break that pressure, pull the trigger, get into that trade. Okay, and it wasn't so bad, even though I took a loss, smaller risk, whatever. Okay, I'm ready now. Sometimes that's okay. Take the breaks. Don't push harder when you are in drawdown. Don't push harder when you are losing. Don't push harder when you don't see any setups. No, that's the time when you need to actually take the break, enjoy it, and step away from the markets. Does that make sense? Are you guys following? Yeah? Okay, we continue. Then I need you to cap your trades per day or week, because greed thrives on open loops and you need to close them intentionally. You need to lock in your profits, not because you're scared, but because you are doing it in line with your trading plan. This is where you need to remind yourself that your system will win. Greed never wins. Guys, just give me 1 minute because I can see we have a bit of an issue. Now, dopamine is, hold on guys, I'm just getting the video visible again so you can see me for the final words. I do apologize.
Where success meets psychology in Paulina's way. Strengthen your mindset every week. Success story every Wednesday. Traders who broke through their limits. Psychology session every Friday. Join now. Hit the bell. One session could change your trading forever. Funding Pips. Built by traders for traders.
Hi traders, so we are back, and now the final word for everything that we have talked about. I want you to really think about that fear and greed are not bad emotions. They are your biofeedback. They are literally your biological feedback, and it is something that is hardwired. But if you don't manage your emotions, they will manage you, and they will manage your trading accounts. So you don't need to fight your emotions. You need to train how to manage your emotions and train how to trade around them. So I would like you to let me know what it is that you learned from today's session. And I would like you to do that in the comment section. So after we finish this live, I would like you to go into the comments of Trading Psychology series of this video and tell me what you've learned from today. And also I would like you to tell me what was the key quote from today and what did we talk about. Okay, so cut through the noise and become calmer. It's not about trading harder. It's not about making it harder for yourself. It is about being calmer. And let that sink in for yourself. Because most traders, they think when they need to push harder, trade more, they will force the results and they will see the results. But the truth is, the traders who actually pass the challenges and get to the master stage, when you watch the success stories, they do it through boring, repetitive patterns and through managing themselves and managing their risk. But you can only manage the risk if you manage yourself first. You can only manage your trading edge and your trading plan when you manage yourself first. You are the driver for all of those things. You are the decision maker. You get to make your own decisions. You get to decide whether you will enter or not. You get to decide what is happening. I want you to develop that trading stamina and develop the emotional stamina where you actually psychologically understand, you know what? I am at number 9 with anger. Because it's not about not feeling the emotion, it's about awareness and thinking, I am so annoyed. That's why I'm not going to trade. Because today I'm not going to make good decisions. And that's the smart way of protecting your trading capital. Because this is something that's going to teach you a lot. Next time you take a loss, take it. And be like, good job. I took the loss and I walked away. Regulated myself, came back, reanalyzed the markets, and then done it according to my trading plan. If you are in drawdown right now, good. You'll get out of it. Being in drawdown tests your trading character. You can do this. You can do this without revenge trading. You can do this without over leveraging your position. It's okay. It's absolutely okay. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for interacting and for engaging. I appreciate every single one of you. I do apologize for the technical issue, but it happens, and that's the beauty of the life, that those happen. And that's why those lives happen, so you can interact and be here. And I really want you to take that in. Understand yourself like nobody else, because you can understand yourself better than anybody else. And I can see a lot of names that are returning. I can see a lot of new names. And I am so proud of every single one of you. Everybody who watches this, I'm proud of you, because you're showing up for yourself. You are trying. And I want you to try harder in a non-patronizing way, in a way that you actually put it into action and you actually utilize those techniques to do better for yourself, because you deserve it. Don't feel those expectations from anybody else. It doesn't matter about anybody else. What it matters is you. You matter the most. And I want you to put yourself and value yourself more as a trader, and to trust yourself more, and to give yourself truly the chance of becoming a trader that you want to become and be. Because you can be. And you deserve to get out of trading your full potential. But you need to allow yourself to. You need to allow yourself to reach to that level. And you will reach to that level when you work on yourself. And this is precisely what sets apart successful traders and unsuccessful traders. Those who continue. Those who continue through the dark moments. Those who continue through the moments that feel impossible. Those who continue through drawdown, through stop losses. Those who continue, who feel tired. Keep going. You don't want to stop in hell. Keep going. Keep going, keep fighting, keep learning, keep reflecting. Thank you so much for being here. This live, every Friday, 5 p.m. Dubai time. On Monday, on Discord, Funding Pips Discord, in a Psychology Corner channel, we do Psychology Refill at 5 p.m. Dubai time. And we just chat, or I do quizzes, or I do activities where we actually implement the things we talked about here, and you can take that pen and paper and put things into action. And of course, on Wednesdays, we have success stories when you can learn from other traders too. And on Thursdays, I post a blog where you can actually read about the sessions and the topics that we talk about. I would really appreciate if you could like, subscribe, and comment under this video. And honestly, comment and tell me what kind of topics you want me to talk about. Because I would love to hear what you need, and whatever you need, we are going to deliver. I'm gonna love you and leave you. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.
Where success meets psychology in Paulina's way. Strengthen your mindset every week. Success story every Wednesday. Traders who broke through their limits. Psychology session every Friday. Join now. Hit the bell. One session could change your trading forever. Funding Pips. Built by traders for traders.